Sorry about that. No, they have to know. If we know, they have to know what's going on. Now, I'm not so sure about the president, but I suspect he knows what's going on too. And this is just for the TV, for politics, appealing to the public masses, that he knows, as well as the rest of those politicians, that we don't know what's being said behind those closed doors, that we don't know the particulars of the math and what's really and truly at stake for the United States. But if you look at what the proposals are, the plans address nothing about the national debt. They're all about the national deficit spending. The deficit is just the gap between what we're taking in revenues and what needs to cover to avoid accruing more and more national debt. And our national debt, let's see, let's check our national debt. Yeah, our national debt is, I think it's going on close to $15 trillion. Here it is, see? Can you see that? A neat little app there that you can get. You can literally watch the debt keep accruing in this screwed up nation. And that number hasn't been paid down in decades, in fact. Okay, we've closed a lot of deficits before, but we have done nothing towards national debt but keep adding to it. The biggest proposal we've heard from the president is $4 trillion over 10 years. Well, that you're going to have to increase the debt ceiling another couple $1 trillion, and cutting $4 trillion in social spending is also going to cut GDP, because that's government expenditure. So you're going to see some sort of contraction with that plan. There's no way around it. And you're not paying anything of the national debt. I don't know why Moody's hasn't downgraded us yet. It's unbelievable what our nation is getting away with. And then we have Bernanke saying, well, it came out yesterday about doing another round of QE3 if he sees signs that the economy is going downhill. What signs does he have to see to come to that conclusion? You're damn right it's going downhill. So I don't know where he's coming off with this. He has to see signs. I'm telling you, all that was a signal to the markets to see what kind of reaction you get if he even hints at QE3. Well, let me tell you something. He knows as well as I know and you know that if he goes with another round of QE3, quantitative easing, gold is going to go over $2,000 an ounce, silver will go over $100 an ounce, and we're not going to be able to afford fuel. And the people in other parts of the world that are having to spend half of what they make on food are going to be spending all of it on food. And a whole bunch won't get any food at all and will flat out starve to death. Not that the capitalistic parasites of this country give a frick about any of those poor people who need food. It's all about making a quick buck, a buck that's quickly deteriorating in any value at all. I do not think Bernanke has the room in the bond market to do another round of QE. Not with Moody's downgrading our credit. Our interest rates are going to spike. I think we're going into a financial period like we saw in 2008, where great volatility, great fear will enter the equity markets, and we're going to see a lot of instability. I would be shocked, though, if we don't raise the debt ceiling, that they don't find some loophole, or they don't take McCullen's deal and just allow the president to arbitrarily raise the debt ceiling and blame it all on him without any cuts in spending, and nobody gets pissed off. We just keep adding to the debt. Everything goes down. But once you start seeing that dislocation in the bond market and the Fed losing the ability to change that, some really, really terrible things are going to start happening, and they're going to happen quickly. So even if they avoid a default, we're going to be entering a very, very unstable financial period. Something worse than 2008. And in the middle of all what's going on in this country, we have Europe going to shit, and they're playing all kinds of money games to hold their bond markets and hold all their debts that are on their books together. That we hold a lot of asset value in there as well. And of course, China is scared to death that it's trying to restrain its runaway inflation problem and try to support Europe and indirectly support the U.S. because it's got to maintain these exportable nations that it can continue to sell its products and stuff that it makes. So that's what we're in for. I wish I could say for sure what's going to happen, but I don't think anybody can say what exactly is going to happen and when it's going to happen. Irregardless, this nation will not pay down its national debt. Ever. Ever. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. America will collapse. This is your last chance as people who are trying to prepare for this. I don't think you're going to live through it anyway, though. If you're preparing for it, this is your last chance to store up food, practice your survival. If you got money, get some precious metals. Whatever you were planning to do for what they call the apocalypse, do it now. This is your last warning. I'm not saying the world's going to end August 2nd, August 3rd, 4th, whatever. I am telling you, though, you're not going to have another opportunity to do these things come this time next year. I hope I'm wrong. I am Megadoom. You can find all this and more at www.theoilage.com.